No one in the galaxy expected the war to start that day. For many years, the great alien empires watched the small blue planet called Earth. Humans were new to space. Compared to the ancient alien civilizations, humanity looked young and weak. The Galactic Alliance had thousands of star systems. Their fleets were massive. Their technology was centuries ahead of most species. To them, humans were just another new race trying to survive in the dangerous galaxy. Many alien leaders believed humans would eventually become servants of stronger empires. Others believed humans would destroy themselves before becoming important. But a few alien commanders believed something different. They believed humans were becoming dangerous. Human ships were improving very quickly. Their colonies were growing. Their scientists were creating strange new technologies. And the most unusual thing about humans was their behavior. Humans never forgot an insult. So the Galactic Alliance made a decision. They would stop humanity before it became a real threat. Deep inside the enormous Galactic Council chamber, hundreds of alien representatives gathered. Massive screens showed images of the human home system. Sol. A yellow star surrounded by several planets. And around the third planet, thousands of small human satellites and stations. One alien commander stood before the council. His voice echoed across the chamber. Humanity is expanding too fast, he said. If we wait longer, they will become impossible to control. Another alien asked calmly, "What do you suggest?" The commander answered without hesitation. "We destroy their fleets. We force them to surrender." The council members whispered among themselves. To them, it sounded simple. Humans had only a few hundred military ships. The Galactic Alliance could send thousands. The war would last only a few hours. Finally, the council voted. The decision was made. Humanity would be attacked. Far away, in deep space near the human solar system, something began to move. A massive alien fleet appeared from hyperspace. Thousands of warships filled the darkness between the stars. Cruisers. Destroyers. Heavy battle carriers. Their commanders watched the human system on their sensors. The blue planet Earth was peaceful. Cities glowed across the surface. Human ships moved slowly between planets. Everything looked normal. The alien fleet commander smiled. "This will be easy," he said. Then he gave the order. "Begin the invasion." Alien ships moved forward. Energy weapons powered up. Missile launch systems activated. Their first target was a group of human defense stations near Mars. Bright beams of energy crossed space. Within seconds, several human stations exploded into fire and debris. On Earth, alarms began screaming across military bases. Inside human command centers, officers stared at their screens. Alien fleets. Thousands of ships. The attack had begun. But something strange happened next. The human commanders were not panicking. They were not shouting. They were not confused. Instead, they looked calm. One human officer slowly stood up from his chair. He looked at the giant tactical screen showing the alien invasion fleet. Then he spoke quietly. "So, they finally came." Another officer asked, "Should we activate the defense fleets?" The commander shook his head slowly. "No," he said. "Not yet." Far away, inside the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, thousands of silent objects floated in darkness. For years they had remained hidden. Sleeping. Waiting. Ancient-looking stations built deep inside giant asteroids. Dark shipyards buried under layers of rock. And inside them, massive warships. Ships far larger than anything humans had ever shown the galaxy. Suddenly, lights began turning on. Power systems awakened. Engines slowly came to life. Across the asteroid belt, enormous hangar doors opened. Dozens. Then hundreds. Then thousands of unknown human ships began leaving their hidden bases. Back near Earth, the alien fleet continued moving forward. Their commanders believed the battle was already won. But their sensors suddenly detected something strange. New signals. Hundreds of them. Then thousands. Ships, appearing across the solar system. Large ships. Very large ships. The alien commander frowned as he stared at the sensor reports. These ships were not in our intelligence data, he said slowly. Then one of his officers whispered something that made the bridge suddenly quiet. Commander. These ships are bigger than ours. At that moment, the first human battleship moved forward. It was enormous. Dark metal armor covered its hull. Its engines burned like small suns. And for the first time since the invasion began, the alien fleet realized something terrifying. They had not attacked a weak civilization. They had just started a war. Humanity had been preparing for. The alien fleet commander stared at the sensor screen. Moments ago, the battle had looked simple. Earth was small. Humanity was young. Victory was supposed to be easy. But now, the sensors were showing something impossible. Thousands of new signals were appearing across the solar system. They were not civilian ships. They were warships. Large warships. Very large warships. The alien commander slowly leaned forward. Identify those vessels, he ordered. Alien technicians quickly began scanning the unknown ships. But the results made the bridge fall silent. Commander, these ships were never detected before. The commander frowned. That is impossible, he replied. Our scouts have watched this system for decades. But the sensors did not lie. Across the asteroid belt, enormous shapes were moving out from the darkness. Asteroids were opening. Massive steel doors slid apart. From inside the rocks, human warships were emerging. For years, those asteroids had looked like nothing more than space debris. But now the truth was clear. They were shipyards. Hidden military bases. And the galaxy had never noticed them. One alien officer whispered nervously. How long have the humans been building these? No one answered. Back on Earth, inside the United Earth Command Center, human officers calmly watched the same battle unfold. The large tactical screen showed hundreds of alien ships moving closer to Earth. But another set of symbols was appearing behind them. Human fleets. Fleet Commander Elena Reyes stood with her arms crossed as she watched the battle map. She had been waiting for this moment for many years. Human intelligence had known the Galactic Alliance was watching them. They had known the aliens believed humans were weak. And humanity had decided not to correct that mistake. Instead, humans had quietly prepared. For 20 years, hidden shipyards had worked deep inside asteroids. Factories built enormous warships in silence. No signals. No broadcasts. No public records. Even most human civilians never knew these ships existed. But now the secret fleet was awake. Commander Reyes finally spoke. Activate Solar Defense Protocol. Immediately, thousands of commands were sent across the solar system. The hidden fleet began moving. Massive human battleships slowly formed battle formations. Carrier ships opened their hangars. Hundreds of sleek fighter ships launched into space. Meanwhile, the alien fleet was still advancing toward Earth. Their commander refused to believe the situation had changed. Continue the attack, he ordered. Destroy any human ships that approach. Alien cruisers powered up their weapons. Bright blue plasma cannons began charging. Missile bays opened. The first alien volley was launched. Dozens of missiles streaked across space toward the approaching human fleet. But something strange happened. The human ships did not dodge. They did not retreat. Instead, the largest human battleship slowly moved forward. It was massive. Nearly 3 kilometers long. Its armor was dark and thick, covered in powerful defense systems. The alien commander watched it carefully. Then he gave a cold smile. "One ship will not stop our fleet," he said. "Destroy it." Alien ships fired together. Plasma beams crossed the darkness. Missiles raced toward the human battleship. But before the weapons could strike, the human ship moved. Its engines flared bright white. And suddenly, hundreds of small defense drones launched from its hull. The drones moved like a swarm. In seconds, they intercepted the incoming missiles. Explosions lit up the darkness. Alien plasma beams struck the battleship's shields. But the shields held. Not even a crack appeared. The alien bridge grew quiet. Then the human battleship fired. A long railgun cannon rotated slowly along the ship's spine. The weapon glowed as it gathered energy. Then, boom! A single metal projectile shot across space faster than any missile. It crossed thousands of kilometers in seconds. And struck an alien cruiser directly through its center. The cruiser exploded instantly. The alien commander's eyes widened. That weapon, what was that? But the human fleet was not finished. Across the solar system, hundreds of hidden warships were now moving forward. Each one armed with weapons the galaxy had never seen before. Human fighter squadrons swarmed around the alien fleet. Stealth ships appeared behind enemy lines. And slowly, the alien commanders began to understand something terrifying. This invasion was not going as planned. Not at all. In fact, the humans were not defending themselves. They were welcoming the battle. And the alien fleet had just flown directly into the center of a trap. The alien fleet commander stared at the burning wreckage of the destroyed cruiser. Only minutes ago, his fleet had been confident. The invasion was supposed to be simple. Earth was supposed to surrender. But now, something felt very wrong. Human ships were appearing everywhere. Large battleships moved slowly through space like dark giants. Smaller ships surrounded them like protective wolves. The alien commander slammed his claw on the command console. "All ships. Full attack formation," he shouted. Thousands of alien warships turned toward the human fleet. Energy cannons glowed bright blue. Missile systems opened. And then the alien fleet fired everything at once. Space exploded with light. Hundreds of plasma beams crossed the darkness. Thousands of missiles rushed toward the human ships. From far away, the battle looked like a storm of fire. But the human fleet did not panic. Inside the command bridge of the human flagship UES Titan, Fleet Commander Elena Reyes watched the incoming attack calmly. The tactical screen showed hundreds of enemy weapons approaching. An officer looked nervous. "Commander, incoming missiles." Reyes nodded calmly. "Activate defense grid." Immediately, dozens of human ships moved into formation. A strange field appeared around the fleet. Small defense satellites launched from the battleships and formed a glowing shield network. Missiles hit the defense grid and exploded far away from the ships. Plasma beams struck the shield barrier but could not break through. The alien commander watched in disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. Human shields were far stronger than anything the alien fleets expected. But then something even worse happened. The human fleet began attacking. Large railguns along the human battleships turned slowly toward the alien fleet. Each weapon was the size of a small building. Energy gathered along the barrels. And then, boom! The first volley fired. Huge metal projectiles shot across space at terrifying speed. They smashed directly through alien ships. One cruiser was split in half. Another exploded instantly. A third ship lost its engines and began spinning helplessly in space. The alien fleet had never faced weapons like this before. Railguns fired again. And again. Each shot destroyed another ship. Meanwhile, hundreds of small human fighters entered the battlefield. They moved extremely fast. Too fast for alien targeting systems. The fighters flew between alien ships, launching precision attacks. Missiles struck weak points in enemy armor. Explosions appeared across the alien formation. Alien commanders tried to regain control. Focus fire on the human fighters. But the fighters were already gone. They disappeared into the darkness, only to appear again somewhere else. It was like fighting ghosts. Inside the alien flagship, the bridge crew was now clearly afraid. One officer shouted, "Commander! Enemy ships detected behind us." The commander turned quickly. How is that possible? Their scanners suddenly showed several human ships appearing behind the alien fleet. Stealth ships. They had been invisible until now. These ships opened fire at close range. Heavy cannons blasted into the engines of alien carriers. One massive carrier exploded like a small star. Panic began spreading through the alien fleet. Ships tried to change formation. Some attempted to retreat. But it was already too late. The human fleet had surrounded them. Inside the UES Titan, Commander Reyes watched the chaos silently. Her officers looked impressed. "Commander," one of them said quietly, "their formation is collapsing." Reyes nodded slowly. "They expected humans to be weak," she said. "They believed we would fight like everyone else." The officer asked, "And we don't?" Reyes gave a small smile. "No," she replied. "Humans study war very carefully." Outside, the battle continued. Human warships moved like a perfect machine. Each ship knew exactly where to go. Each attack was precise. Within minutes, dozens of alien ships were destroyed. And for the first time since the invasion began, the alien fleet realized the terrible truth. They were not fighting a young, weak civilization. They were fighting a species that had prepared for this war for decades. And the humans were not struggling to survive. They were completely in control of the battlefield. The alien commander stared at the growing list of destroyed ships. His voice became quiet. "We miscalculated. But the worst part was still coming. Because humanity had not yet used its most powerful weapons. And the battle was only beginning." The battlefield around Earth had turned into chaos. Burning alien ships floated through space like broken metal skeletons. Explosions flashed across the darkness as more vessels were destroyed. The alien invasion fleet was huge. But now, it was falling apart. Human warships moved through the battlefield with calm precision. Their formations never broke. Every movement looked planned. Inside the alien flagship, the commander could no longer hide his fear. His tactical screen showed the terrible truth. More than a third of his fleet had already been destroyed. And the battle had only been going on for less than 1 hour. "How is this possible?" one alien officer whispered. The commander did not answer. He was staring at the sensor reports. Human ships were not just stronger. They were smarter. Every alien attack was predicted before it happened. Human ships moved away before missiles arrived. Defense systems destroyed incoming fire with perfect timing. It was as if the humans already knew every move the alien fleet would make. Meanwhile, the human counterattack continued. A massive human carrier slowly moved forward. Its hangar doors opened. Hundreds of new fighter ships poured out like a swarm of steel birds. The fighters rushed toward the alien fleet. Alien cannons tried to shoot them down. But the human fighters moved incredibly fast. They twisted and turned through space, avoiding fire. Each fighter launched small smart missiles. The missiles targeted engines, weapons, and shield generators. One by one, alien ships lost power. Large cruisers drifted helplessly in space. Then the human battleships finished them with powerful railgun shots. Across the battlefield, alien ships began sending desperate messages. Requesting support. Shields failing. We cannot hold this formation. But support never came. Because the human fleet had already blocked every escape route. Inside the UES Titan, Commander Elena Reyes watched the battle calmly. Her officers studied the battlefield carefully. One officer spoke. "Commander, enemy morale is collapsing." Another officer added, "Several alien ships are attempting retreat." Reyes nodded. "Let them run," she said. The officer looked surprised. "We're not chasing them." Reyes shook her head slowly. "No. Our objective is already complete." Outside the command center window, the massive human flagship continued firing its powerful weapons. Another alien destroyer exploded in the distance. Meanwhile, the alien commander finally gave an order he never expected to give. "All ships, retreat." His voice sounded heavy. "This battle is lost." The remaining alien ships quickly turned away from Earth. Their engines flared as they tried to escape. But retreating was not easy. Human ships were still attacking. Several alien vessels exploded while trying to leave the battlefield. Others escaped with heavy damage. Within another hour, the battlefield was silent. The largest invasion fleet the galaxy had ever assembled was gone. Destroyed. Thousands of alien ships had attacked Earth. Only a small number managed to escape. Back on Earth, people around the world watched the battle through global news networks. At first, there had been fear. Then shock. Now, there was silence. The war had ended almost as quickly as it began. Less than one day. That was all it took. The galaxy had attacked humanity with overwhelming force. And humanity had defeated them in hours. Across the stars, alien empires received the same battle reports. Sensor recordings. Fleet communications. Images of destroyed ships. No one could believe it. Human technology had been hidden for decades. Human fleets were far stronger than anyone expected. And most frightening of all, humans had not even used their full power. Inside the damaged alien flagship, the retreating commander stared at the final battle report. His fleet was gone. His invasion had failed. And now the entire galaxy would know the truth. Humans were not weak. Humans were not young. Humans had simply been waiting. Waiting for the galaxy to make a mistake. And the moment that mistake happened, the war was over in a single day. But the most shocking part of the story had not happened yet. Because humanity was about to send a message to the entire galaxy. The battlefield around Earth slowly became quiet. Only pieces of broken ships floated in space. Thousands of destroyed alien vessels drifted silently between the planets. Some were still burning. Others were completely dark. The war was over. And it had lasted less than one day. Across Earth, billions of people watched the news. Massive screens showed the same images again and again. The alien invasion fleet. The human defense fleet. The moment the first alien ships were destroyed. At first, many humans could not believe it. The galaxy had attacked with overwhelming power. Yet the war had ended faster than anyone expected. Human fleets were still moving carefully through the battlefield. Rescue ships collected survivors. Defense satellites scanned the system for hidden enemies. Inside the United Earth Command Center, Fleet Commander Elena Reyes stood quietly while officers around her studied the final reports. One officer spoke carefully. "Commander, the alien fleet has fully retreated. No hostile ships remain in the solar system." Another officer added, "Total battle time, 8 hours." Reyes nodded slowly. Good work, she said calmly. But her voice was serious. This war may be over, but the galaxy is still watching us. Far away, in alien space, the news of the battle was spreading like wildfire. Across hundreds of star systems, alien leaders gathered in emergency meetings. Large screens showed the battle recordings. Human battleships firing massive railguns. Alien ships exploding in seconds. Human fighter swarms destroying entire formations. The recordings were impossible to ignore. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, silence filled the enormous hall. Representatives from dozens of alien civilizations stared at the battle footage. No one spoke for a long time. Finally, one council member broke the silence. We underestimated them. Another alien slowly nodded. We believed humans were weak. A third voice added quietly. But they were simply patient. The council studied another recording. It showed the moment when hundreds of hidden human warships appeared from the asteroid belt. Entire fleets that the galaxy had never detected before. One alien scientist spoke with concern. How long have the humans been preparing? No one knew the answer. Back in the human solar system, the final phase of the operation began. A powerful communication signal was transmitted from Earth. The signal traveled through the galaxy. It reached alien colonies, trade stations, military bases, and government worlds. Every civilization received the same message. Across the galaxy, screens suddenly turned on. A calm human voice appeared in the transmission. It was Commander Elena Reyes. She stood inside the command center with the Earth visible behind her through a large window. Her voice was calm. Her face showed no anger. But her words were very clear. For many years, humanity tried to live peacefully in the galaxy. The alien leaders watched silently. We traded with our neighbors. We explored the stars. We respected other civilizations. Reyes paused for a moment. But today, the galaxy attacked our home. Images of the destroyed alien fleet appeared behind her. Thousands of broken ships floating near Earth. We defended ourselves, Reyes continued. And the war ended in one day. The entire galaxy listened carefully. Then Reyes spoke the final message. Humanity does not seek war. But if anyone threatens our world again. She paused one last time. The result will be the same. The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, no one spoke. The message was simple. But the meaning was clear. Humanity was peaceful. But humanity was also extremely dangerous. From that day forward, the galaxy treated humans very differently. Trade agreements increased. Diplomatic missions arrived at Earth. Alien empires suddenly became very polite. Because everyone had learned the same lesson. Humans were not the weakest species in the galaxy. They were the most prepared. And when the galaxy attacked Earth, humanity ended the war in a single day. After that day, the galaxy never made that mistake again.